All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker podcast brought to you by Boss Ammo. I'm Jeff Stanfield.
I'm Andy Shaver, and you just fuck it up
do it all the time.
every single fucking time. On the line with us today, Brandon Cerecke, head boss man. How are you, bud?
Hanging in. How are you guys doing?
I don't know how he fucks that up all the time. I really don't.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm messaging a lady about getting a shot tomorrow, and she was messaging me about time that I went boom, 3, 2, 1.
The COVID test? You're getting the COVID test?
I'm going to get a shot.
A COVID? You're not getting that
Yes,
thing,
I am.
are you?
Yep, I'm
The
going
vaccine?
to. Yep, I'm going to.
Why?
Fucking people get the flu shot all the time. I want to get this shit over with so I can go do shit.
Oh, my goodness.
How's that phase 4 testing work out?
Well, if I die from it, I've got lots of insurance. I'm not scared of dying, but I don't want to be fucking sick.
Yeah, at the same time you're going to walk in front of a bus if it's speeding down the road?
Well, no, I'm not going to do that. But there's 99.9% of people getting the shot are fine. I'm going to go get a shot.
99.9% of the people that get coronavirus are fine.
I know, so I'm putting myself at the 198% to 198% deal. Both of them adding them together.
I had COVID. I had COVID this winter. Lost my sense of taste and smell, and that was all I had.
No headache?
No headache.
No fever, none of that?
No runny shits, no clogged nose, no nothing. My wife and I both got it. That was the same for both of us.
And I'm thinking me and Michelle had it too, because I had some loss of smell and taste, but I was fucking tired. I mean, fucking stage 4 cancer tired. I mean, dragging fucking ass. That's I felt like my dad did the last 6 months of his life, where he was just tired, and he told me, I just can't. I'm just tired all the time, and I felt this, and that's the way I was. But I'm gonna get I'm gonna go get a shot. Yes, I am gonna take the shot. I'm gonna be a guinea pig.
What a sheep! What a sheep!
I'm not a sheep. I don't get the flu shot every year. Do you?
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm not either, so I'm not a sheep on that. But I don't. People do it, and I don't think that. Why do people look down on people that get a COVID test, but they don't think nothing of you getting a flu shot?
Because you're a pussy.
Your brother's had it.
He has to. He's a frontline worker.
Okay, well, but
You're not.
him. I am fucking frontline for myself.
What I don't understand is when people get sick, they got to go get a test.
Right.
And it doesn't make that. If I got it, I think you know the symptoms by now. We've only been talking about it for a year. So what's the benefit in going to get the confirmation that, yep, you have it?
Oh, I don't know about that, because when I thought I had it, I stayed my ass at home.
Good for you. Most everyone else I know that's gotten it, the first thing they do is go get a test.
Fuck,
so why in the hell are you going to get a test?
I didn't even want to go to the doctor for anything, because I don't want to get a fucking test on the shit. I'm 99% sure that I had it already, and I think everyone around the lodge, my family, and everybody's had it within the last 6 months. But
so you're 99.9% sure you had it and survived a 99.9% survivable illness, and you're going to go get a damn vaccination.
Yes.
I think he's thinking if he gets the vaccination, then he can travel. I think what he's thinking is they're going to have like a COVID vaccination, and you can just run about the country.
That's what I'm thinking.
So you got a card that says your vaccines are up to date, like a dog?
Yep.
If that's what it fucking takes for me to get on planes, boats, and do whatever I want to do everywhere, I'll do it.
Not me.
Well, you don't have to.
Not me.
Well, you don't have
I'm
to.
going to stay my ass at the house and be just happy with it.
I'm getting a shot, and we'll go from there and see what happens. But
then you'll have to get another one in 3 months, because that's as long as the shit works for, 3 to 4 months.
I thought it was 6 months. Same as Michelle told me that, and I said, listen, people get a fucking flu shot every year. You have to get it every year.
They don't know. How do they know how long the shot works for? If they're saying it works for 3 to 6 months, the damn shot isn't even 3 months old yet.
Why am I getting grilled over trying to make myself healthier?
You're not trying to make yourself healthier.
I'm going to tell you something about going to the doctor. I went to the fucking eye doctor yesterday. Let me tell you, that's a fucking experience and a half now. You walk in, first you have to do all your fucking paperwork on your phone. I'm going to an eye doctor. How the fuck am I going to see the fucking paperwork on an iPhone to fill out? So I go in. Then you have to text them from the parking lot and tell them you're there. They text, oh, come on in. You walk in the door, and it's like going through a Gestapo checkpoint.
Yeah.
Make sure your mask is on. It has to be over your nose and mouth at all times. Please come straight in here to the bathroom and wash your hands. Okay. So I go in and wash hands, both sides of my hands, not like Mikey does, but I wash the whole entire hand, both of them. Then I go sit down and then go through this stuff with me. Then after they do my eye examination, I go to look at frames. She goes, yeah, just touch which ones you want because we're going to wash them all. I go, why? Well, in case you infected them. You just made me wash my fucking hands 15 minutes ago. What the fuck you think I got fucking the disease here in the office? I'm like, shit.
It's kind of scary to hear all this because you guys are down in Texas.
Exactly.
I'm starting to think you're going a little too far left.
We got Austin, Texas here, remember? But
Matthew McConaughey is going to be our governor.
That would be nice.
You think
How
so?
far from Austin are you guys?
5 hours, but it don't matter. Them fuckers have ruined that place. It's a fucking cesspool. The whole thing.
Well, it sounds like they ruined where you guys are 5 hours away.
Nah, this was in Abilene, but I think this is just the people are just. Oh, and the lady tells me, she goes, and this worked really good. We've only had 2 people in our office get COVID this year. There ain't fucking 8 people worked there, so 25% of the people got it.
Yep.
Then we go to another eye place to go get our glasses because this place here was going to take 3 weeks to get our glasses back. So then we go to another eye place. We walk in, TSO, and then just going to get our glasses. And I walk in the door, and they got chairs are separated 6 feet apart. And there's one lady talking to the lady. So I go, oh, I'm going to over and look at the frames they got. So I start walking. Sir, you have to sit right here in this spot until we check your fever or check your temperature. I'm like, motherfucker, I just washed my hands at the last doctor's office. So they took my temperature before I could do anything there, too.
Yeah, I feel like I turned into a damn recluse over the last year because I don't wear masks. It causes it. I don't like it because I don't like people telling me what I have to do based upon bullshit science that don't mean anything. So I've been like silently protesting, but it's caused a lot of stress in my family life at home because my wife says we're not doing anything or going anywhere. But in the last year, I put on a mask 4 times, 3 times to go to one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, and 1 time to go to a restaurant around the corner from us here. And I've not gone into any stores or anything. I go into one gas station where I get my fuel because they don't make you wear a mask. And where I'm going with this is where my duck property is an hour away from here. We were going to torch the marsh and burn off all the Phragmites and shit that were growing up. And that turned to a failure. It was too wet. But anyway, one of my buddies says, hey, you want to go grab lunch? I said, well, there ain't nothing fucking open in Michigan. And he said, no, we'll go up to the Bullseye. So we went into Three Rivers in the Bullseye. And it's like a little mini grocery store, meat market, deli kind of deal. And he said, come on in. And I said, I don't have a fucking mask on. I'm not doing that shit. He said, no, come on in. So we go through the doors, and everybody inside this place, no mask. They look at you. They smile, not looking like you're a damn alien for walking in without a damn mask on. And they got hot food line in the deli, some of the best Amish home-cooked food. And my kids are with me, and they're like, Dad, this place is awesome. And they're running around this grocery store like they're in Disney World because they didn't have to wear a mask, and no one had it. I said, how in the hell do people have this thing going on? We're in Michigan. Whitmer's shutting everything down, fining people. Well, the owner of this place owns. I think he's like a J.O.'d Amish guy. So he's named Yoder, but he went and got a lawyer and took it to court, and the judge agreed with him and said, yep, that mask order, unconstitutional. So then the health department comes in. He shows them the judge's order, and they turn around and leave. The police, local, eat their lunch there, hang out. But he doesn't have a liquor license, so they can't do shit to him because that's the last card that people have in Michigan they can pull is she'll send people in and pull your damn liquor license, and then you're really screwed.
Yeah. See, I don't – me and Michelle went and ate dinner yesterday out in Abilene. We didn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Some places will make you do it, and some are really strict on it, and some aren't. So I want to go live, and I want to go do shit. And
yep.
So whatever it's going to take for it, but I am going to take the shot, and I'm going to catch some shit from some people. And that's fine if they want to give me shit, but I'm going to go take the shot. I am going to take a shot. And I'm going to
well, that's voluntary.
That's
Wearing
right.
a mask in public, they're trying to make that so it's a mandate. And I got major problems. It's a silent protest more than anything else. I don't like being told what to do when there's no good reason for why you're making me do it.
We don't
Bullshit.
We live in a town that you don't have to wear your mask much.
Yeah, in our town, you don't really have to wear it. I remember going into the grocery store. It was in January, I think, and the lady was like, "Sir, you're gonna have to wear a mask."
In Knox City?
Yeah, it was.
Shit.
They had re-up some of the laws. The governor had signed some shit into law, and she was like, you're gonna have to wear a mask." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And I just
No, it's not.
No. But
not.
I was at the checkout, and I was like, "Well, I don't have a mask, and it's a little late now in the game to be telling me this." And then I went back, and nobody was wearing a
left the
mask.
cart. I hate that some of the most conservative Americans I know are just laying down because you have to do something because some idiot says you do.
Well, if you want to buy groceries, you might have to do that in Knox City. We don't have another option. Well, we don't.
You guys don't have shipped or whatever where somebody else goes and gets them?
You mean like Amazon and shit?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, it takes like
grocery
2
delivery. We go on the internet, and then they got people that shop, and it costs a little bit more, maybe 3 or 4% more, and they bring the shit right to your house.
You live in a big town. We live in a small.
No, we don't.
But
There's 12,000 people in our town.
That's huge. We've got 900.
It takes like 2 days if we did that.
We can't get the same service that you can get, or we would do that anyways. But
I do curbside delivery a lot.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, just open the door and then they throw all that shit in.
But they don't do that in Knox City.
This whole the mask thing is bullshit. It's a false narrative, man. Now you got to wear 3 masks if you want to have 90% effectiveness.
It's the dumbest fucking shit ever.
Triple mask.
I saw. I was on an airplane with some doctors, and them fuckers had on masks, and then they had a shield on over top of their mask also. They had ear coverings and all kinds of shit. It was just like shit.
Ear coverings.
They had all kinds of shit on. They might as well had a fucking hazmat suit on.
And what's bad is this isn't going away anytime soon. Like, who knows when this is all going to get lifted?
We will be wearing masks in our society like the Japanese and the Chinese and all them Koreans and whatever piece I'm leaving out over there have been for the last 20 years, 30 years.
Are they wearing it in Wuhan now still?
They wear masks over there all the time.
I always thought it was because they didn't like breathing the smog air.
Yeah, no
but you
shit.
see people like watching the news, they watch all the Chinese people walking around town. They all got masks on. Oh, well, yes, because they got dirty air.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't think that's why.
They wear them fuckers all the time. You go to a casino and you see somebody wearing a mask, that's a Chinese person.
But they also shit in a hole in the floor in the subway station. So
well, I'm not saying they're doing everything right.
Tell you one thing, all those people in Florida not wearing masks, they're healthy.
yeah.
No, they're no less healthy than anywhere else.
I can't Brandon, you're like talking to Michelle. Me and her disagree on all this stuff, and I'm not disagreeing with her. I agree with her. If I got to go somewhere and they say you got to wear a mask and it's going to make it for the better of me being able to do what I want to do, I do it.
Jeff's just selfish. That's what it all boils down to. Jeff will give a little concession.
So at what point, Jeff, are you going to let him take more liberties from you before you say enough's enough?
Wearing a
That
mask,
is true.
Wearing a mask is not that big a fucking deal to me.
It's a slippery slope, though.
I'm not disagreeing. Okay,
Yep.
You're right. But wearing a fucking mask is not that big a fucking deal. I've had 4 operations in my life, and every fucker that ever operated on me was wearing a mask. So it's not that big a deal.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, he was wearing a mask. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, but they're
And
uncomfortable.
so they don't spit. That's when they're operating. They don't spit inside you and start an infection.
I'm probably more nasty than they are, so I can live with that.
But what he's getting at is at what cost? What's the next step? What's the next concession that we're willing to make?
You're asking me personally?
When Michigan locked down.
Yeah.
Me personally? I can wear a mask, but I'm not. What else you want me to do?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know what else they can dream about.
When Michigan locked down last March or whenever that was, I said, our liberties are gone and we're never going to get this shit back. Fast forward yesterday. Now people in Washington want to start and appoint what do they call it? A reality czar?
Huh?
That's Truth Ministry, man, from 1984. They want to have someone that's overseeing what goes on in social media to make sure shit's true.
A reality czar.
And all this shit started, reality czar. Google that shit. Reality czar.
Well, I don't know what other liberties I'm going to give up. I do wear a mask some when they ask me to go to a place. Don't do it all the time. I go most places around here. We don't wear a mask. My mask won't go on my face once a week. I mean, that's how little we have to wear a mask around here. And unless I go somewhere and I have to carry one, I'll put it on for a second and that's it. But I also,
if there was actual science, if it was like, hey, you do this and this is what happens. First, don't you remember? We were only supposed to flatten the curve in 2 weeks.
Yeah. There's no, they don't know. Yeah, you're right on that too. But wearing a mask does help
it's all
some.
Bullshit science, and I'm not going to be someone's guinea pig experiment. Do as I say, because I think it's in your best interest. Bullshit. This is America, man. This ain't no China.
You don't think a mask helps at all?
Fuck no, it doesn't help at all. Look at Florida.
No. I'm just saying it's not hurting nothing. Wearing a mask is not hurting nothing.
When people come into our factory with masks, I would say it's no better and maybe worse. Next time you go out in public, you see these people, look how often they touch their fucking mask.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
you're getting me all revved up. You're concentrating all of the damn germs and shit on that thing. When you touch it, you fidget. You transfer all that shit that you're breathing in and out onto your fingers.
After an entire year of hunting season and people coming and go here from September through the end of January, we had nobody in the dining hall wearing a mask that I can remember. Not
and
one
how
time.
many COVID outbreaks did you have?
None that I know about. I don't know of any, but I'm just saying though, the people that come here weren't masked. We had 30 to 50 people in here eating dinner every night, and there was nobody wearing a mask. Never. They didn't come in the door.
Outbreaks?
No, not that I know of. People, but I don't know because people people come and go from here. It's not like they're not all here together all the time. This is two or 3 days. We never had any of that. But
hey,
I'm gonna talk about the vaccine for a minute. I also have a polio vaccine when I was younger, measles. I don't have a problem taking a vaccine. I've taken them my whole life. So have you. And my kids are vaccinated when they were in school.
Right, but all those vaccines made it all the way to the goal line before you run them out. There's 4 stages, from what I know. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? 4 means, yep, all the data is good. No one's going to have arms fall off or any long-term effects from this shit. Blah blah blah. You're on third base right now, and people are getting it. You don't know what that last home stretch looks like, man.
Well, I'm going to take that chance, and I'm going to see what happens. I'll be the guinea pig for the Big Honker podcast. If I fall over dead, I die. No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take this lighthearted, and I'm not discrediting the severity of COVID with the people that get it and all that shit. I mean, Lord knows they die. But when you look at, like, the data, how many people in the U.S. died this year, last year versus the year before, it's no different. It's not like you can see this spike where Americans are dying at an accelerated rate. No, all they're doing is just assigning these cause of death to COVID.
I agree with you there. And the sad thing is, like everyone around here, I think everyone around here had it. And I don't think nobody was really sick at all. It was a very mild case of it. And then I know some people that have passed away from it. I know some families that have got young people that have died from it in their 20s. I think it's genetics. I think there's just certain genetics and certain blood types that are really affected by it and others that aren't.
Well, one of my buddies he calls it the big bug. So he's got a theory that there's a big bug and there's a little bug. He got it at a New Year's party. He says, I got the big bug. And he took it to a New Year's party and got 2 other people sick, and they just got the little version of it. So I don't know if it means anything or not, but he felt like he was going to die, and the 2 people that he infected had a headache for a day, and that was it.
Now, I also took Ivomec, cow dewormer. Now, I don't know if that's going around in Michigan, but in the Midwest, that's huge right now.
What's that?
People take an Ivomec. It's a cow medicine, and everybody is. I mean, it's what the doctors are prescribing. If you go to the doctor, they're prescribing Ivomec pills. Well, I just went to a buddy of mine in a cattle business and bought some dewormer, and it's Ivomec is what it is. And you take 3 cc's or 2 cc's and just mix it in your juice and drink it in a Gatorade. You take it one day.
How often?
I took it the first day that I thought I was getting sick. I took that shit, and I felt better within 6 hours.
Didn't it give you the shits though?
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't eat Mexican food and eat a cat and drink some cattle dewormer.
Woo!
Wow. Abusing the toilet like grandma's house on Thanksgiving Day. Gosh almighty.
I can't get my head around why you're doing what you're doing. if you already know that you got something that helps get over it if you got it or when you get it, and you're going to do a damn vaccine for something you think you already had, we got to move on. Fuck.
Well, hold on now just a minute. I'm going to tell you about the Ivomec. But when I first heard about it, a buddy of mine told me, he said, you need to take some Ivomec. And he got me some, and then I bought a whole bottle of it. They quit selling little deals of it because the vets, so you had to buy a whole cattle size. So I bought, I don't know, a quart of it or whatever it is. But
yeah,
I took it, and I felt better within 6 hours. I had to take it again 2 days later, and then you take it once a week for a little bit. But there are people out here that are taking it that in the ranching businesses, and they've got some that's an apple that's a paste, and they stir it up. I like the other shit better. I haven't had that one, but I like what I take. But everybody I know that's had it or thought they had it, it's made them feel better automatically.
Animal supplements.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all it is. But yeah, Jeff's just doing it so he can go travel the world.
I've got a selfish reason for going to take a shot, so we'll just see. If I die, I die from it. It's no big deal. So let's quit getting Brandon all worked up here. Let's talk about ammunition.
No, hold on. First, I want to know what's the deal. I saw a rumor that Boss is blowing up barrels. Is this true?
Well, you get me all spun up, and then you want to throw this shit on me.
Should we let it die down and then hit you with it?
No. Well, yeah, I guess there's a report from a gun manufacturer that says that our ammunition is too hot and shouldn't be used in their guns, this and that and the other. And I think the number that they said, the customer service guy said, was up to 5 guns this year. I know of 2 from that manufacturer, and to me, it's not a shell issue. And I guess the simple explanation is if we screwed something up and say the machine dropped 2 charges of powder, there's not enough room for us to have 2 powder doses, the wad, and then the shot and close the shell. It would spill out. Like you can't even get the plastic to start crimping around because it's so tall. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with hunting loads. You're using a lot of slow burning powder, so it takes up a lot of volume. It's not like a target or trap load that hardly has shit for powder that you can double dose and then have problems real quick. You don't ever hear of guns blowing up from factory made hunting ammunition because it's just physically impossible to cram that much powder in there to cause that kind of an issue. But whatever. I mean, we build our business on like trying to be nice in the sandbox and not disparage our competitors, even though we've got a different theory with how we construct our ammunition and run a business. Like we're new kids on the block, right? So to come in and say that everyone doesn't know what the hell they're doing and this product's not good, that product's not good, that's complete BS, and we're not going to go that route, so whatever. No, we're not blowing up guns. And if we did, I think you'd have to run like 50,000 PSI, and our shells run 10, 11,000, 11.5 maybe at the high side when it's warm out. So to have a gun failure in the field, cold weather, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Makes you wonder if the manufacturer of them others loads is not trying to just find something to bring up to try to make y'all stuff look bad.
Yeah, they can do that too. That's fine. We know our customers. We know what we're doing. I think our customers know us. They expect a lot from us. We expect even more from ourselves. So we're not going to let shit like that happen. It's impossible. Even if we took our hottest powder, like we designed this shit bottom to top, so it's pretty much error proof. Even if we took our hottest powder and put it in, say a guy fucks up and uses the wrong powder for the wrong shell. Even if they took the hottest powder and put it in one of our loads that takes the largest powder drop, it still wouldn't cause a pressure spike that could rupture a barrel. And the 2 guns I know of that come apart this year didn't rupture barrels. They cracked the damn receiver because the gun's fired out of battery. And I don't know how I can make a shotgun shell light off with the bolt not being closed all the way. That befuddles me. But that's beside the point.
Well, y'all have got a huge loyal base of people that use your products, because I'm telling you right now, 2 years ago, 10% of our customers shot Boss. Mm-hmm. Last year, I would say 30% of our customers shoot Boss. I'm going to say this year it's 50%. Would you say it's close, Andy?
I'd say it's more than that.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Now we push y'all a lot and we talk about y'all a lot, so that has a lot to do with it. But I don't know very many people that don't shoot Boss.
We're still babies, man. I mean, and that's what to draw the ire. And again, I'm not going to blame that manufacturer because to be honest, I had a chat this morning with one of the higher ups at that company, and they weren't aware of any mandate that said tell people not to shoot this product, this and that. But even then, for that to be acceptable for a customer service guy to say that is BS. It doesn't make anyone look good.
Right.
But again, we're babies, man. And I said, I personally expected more from an established legacy, iconic brand that would say that kind of thing about a company that's trying to do the best for the industry and deliver quality product to our mutual customers. So we'll see where that whole thing goes. But yeah, we're tiny. We're still small. We're growing. We're still small. Are we ever going to gain critical mass? We're going to be like one of the big names. Who knows? We're having a hell of a lot of fun with it. We're just trying to do our own boss things, and it's caught on, and everyone's having fun with it. So we're just going to keep doing it.
And you've pissed all them other guys off.
Well, I guess we pissed one customer service representative off. I don't know of anyone else that's like drawing a target on our forehead, but it doesn't matter. Like, I was afraid of that our first couple of years when we're exposed, right? You got everything out there and you're worried about outside threats, this and that, and someone coming in to knock you off before you can really gain traction. And while we're still small, I'm very satisfied with the way the company's progressing, the way we're growing, the moves we're making. And I'm like, you hear other guys are coming out with other similar shells, this and that, and that's fine. There's enough room in the market for everyone. And I feel that as long as we keep on delivering the best for best value, we're going to keep growing and be satisfied with the trajectory of the future.
So is everybody freaking out right now about the ammunition shortage?
Yes. Yeah. And, I don't know if you heard about or saw the email that we sent out over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And I don't like surprises in business. I like plans. I like executing and acting on what we say we're going to do and delivering the results. So I feel that, a lot of the way we steer the business and we communicate with the people is based upon how I like to be treated as a consumer. And there's a lot of bullshit flying around about, why ammunition shortages exist, this, that, the other. And I sent an email out to all the people subscribed to our list and said, hey, we're not going to talk about why, but yeah, there are ammunition shortages, and it's going to potentially affect our supply chain late in the season. So late in the season, no one rush and buy right now. There's going to be plenty of ammunition that's going to be available. Our supply chain's healthy. All we're saying is late in the year is not the time to buy your shotgun shells for when you want to go on a trip 3 days from now. That's all it was. Well, that ignited like a firestorm. I feel terrible about it because I don't want to be one that contributes and throws fuel on the fire of this ammunition shortage. I was just trying to communicate to our customers that there are shortages. They're going to exist. We're doing the best we can. And right now, at this point, we feel we're ahead of the game. But yeah, I mean, it's going crazy.
So So did you just send that email as like, hey, have some foresight here. Like if you got a trip coming up, go ahead, get your order in. Don't expect a week turnaround because it's not going to happen with this climate.
Yeah. And in short, it basically said, inventories are healthy right now. We're going to be switching over to run our turkey loads. You'll be able to back order things. If they're not on the web, you can pre-order all that. We'll switch back up and start manufacturing our waterfowl stuff again as soon as Boss Tom runs in probably mid-March, early April. And then just don't wait until the middle of October to buy your stuff. Right. If your season starts in October, like plan ahead. And I think I said, now is not the year to put off buying your ammo to the last minute. We see it. We're direct to consumer. Mm-hmm. Half of our customers call and they say, can I have the stuff for the weekend? So we love being just in time. We love being lean. We love delivering same day shipping, all that. But this year it may be tough because there may not be towards the very end, we may have some supply constraints, and it's all going to be related to gunpowder. We've got all of our hull purchases are set. Wads are solid. We got contracts in place for all of our metal buys. The issue this year is going to be powder. And the reason why is the powder plants got behind with pistol and rifle when all that buying took place a year ago and throughout the summer. So what happened is shot shell powders inventories were good. They were making all that. Well, now they're back to producing pistol rifle for the large OEMs to keep up with that demand. And then our shotgun powders are being pushed off a little bit. Mm-hmm. So we've got all of our powder orders in. I would say I'd buy everything right now if we could for the whole year. And this was early January. We had all this squared away. But what they're saying is we're going to be able to release your orders on allocation. So if you order too little, you'll get what you need, but it won't be enough. And if you say you need to order a whole pile all at once, you're not going to get that either. So we've got some other things working in the background to ensure that we've got stable supply from our powder vendor. And again, I don't envision it being a huge problem, but you never know.
So by next fall, you think that things will be back to probably 50%, 75% normal?
No, I think this is going to run. I think it'll run through next year.
You
got to look at it. With powder. There's only a couple manufacturers here in the States that make it.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and it's not smart to say, sure, let's expand our infrastructure and take on a whole bunch of debt or finance this growth for what we know is going to be a temporary deal. So a lot of guys got in trouble where big manufacturers say, this is the new norm. We're going to be having 7 million new gun owners every year come and buy guns. That's not the case. This is a short temporary thing, but the ripple effect is going to take a while to shake out. Right. So they're not going to expand, build more infrastructure to produce more powder. They're going to build what they can build, and God forbid we go to war, because these ammunition plants or the powder plants hold big time government contracts. So you start having to build artillery shells, everything else. Well, then everybody gets screwed.
Yeah, the supply really runs low.
Right. So you got to look, all of 2021's powder, that capacity has already been bought up 2 weeks into January for the year. So for the guy that doesn't plan, he's shit out of luck for the year.
You know, I remember as a kid, and this is forever ago, but just how America has changed. You could go to a store. We had a place called Gibson's in Wichita Falls, like a Walmart, and you could walk in, and they would have
not wear a mask.
You didn't have to wear a mask. You probably would have been
no vaccine card.
No vaccine card. Screw y'all. But you could buy fucking kegs of powder just on the shelves. They didn't have no put back; just right there on the shelf.
Right.
And I can't remember going to a place that I've seen a keg of powder anymore. No. What do the reloaders have to do? Do they have to go buy it specifically somewhere, or do they sell that still in?
You can't get it. You're not gonna be able to get it. And the powder distributor that we deal with, there's been other distributors that have cut OEMs off. They say we've got to support our own distribution business. 1 pound, 4 pound, 6, 8 pound kegs or whatever you buy at the gun shops. And they said we're only able to get this much powder this year, so we make more margin packaging up and selling it to dealers than we do selling bulk to you. So in the past, OEMs, like not the big boys of the world that can buy direct from powder plants, the medium-sized and smaller guys like us, that we have to buy through distribution because our buy at one time isn't large enough to go direct. So if we didn't have good relationships with our powder people, like communicate, pay your bill on time, order enough product, that kind of deal, they'd have turfed us, and we've been out on our ass. Oof. So that's where, like, the mindset of, like, the way we like to grow our business, you honor your word, you do whatever you can to build trust, you pay your bills before they're due. All that in years past has gone extreme distances in securing a healthy supply chain for us. Yeah. Like with our hulls that we have to bring in from Italy, there's guys that can't get that shit. We went over there a year and a half ago and had like really, really good dialogue, built solid relationships, So then when we have to put the downstroke for our hull buys a year out, they want 30% down. We give them 50. Give them more than what they need, so the trust is there.
What?
And that's what we're doing.
So the average guy right now that's a reloader, he can't buy primers or powder anywhere.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
I didn't realize how much people. I didn't really think about it, and it was the 7 million guns, and I was thinking, shit, if everybody just bought 100 rounds, that's 700 million.
Yeah. Well,
piece.
The guys at Federal, they did a video where they said that, hey, we've got all these new gun purchases or gun buyers, first timers, and if 7 million people need to buy a box of 59 millimeters, do the math. I mean, that consumes their capacity right now.
350 million rounds.
Right. And I think what you're seeing, like all these high prices, they're opportunistic sellers that are gouging people.
Yes.
And I don't think any of the big ammo companies are doing it. We're definitely not doing it. It's the middlemen, whether it's the distributors or it's the retailers that are screwing people and saying that they're getting these huge increases. They're not. They're not. And I think Federal even published, I think their prices were going up between 5 and 15% across all product lines.
Not 300%.
Well, that doesn't make... Yeah, right. That doesn't make a 9mm $2 a rip.
Well, that's what there's a local store here in town that is selling ammunition, and that was the line that he told one of our guys that went in there was, hey, they're gouging, they're jacking their price up on me, so I got to jack my price up on you. And I think that's what it was. I think it was like a $2 for a 9mm round.
Yep. Yeah, pass the buck. No, that's BS. Now he might be buying it from a distributor who bought it from a wholesaler, and those two guys are squeezing them.
Right.
But someone's lying and screwing people along the way. That's BS.
Somebody's fucking somebody somewhere.
I had a guy that's not a competitive shooter, but he shoots all the time. It's his hobby. I made a comment about it. I just don't see that many people need that many rounds because, I don't know why I need 1,000 rounds of 9mm. If it comes down to that, I'm in big trouble probably. And that guy said, "Oh yeah, but
it's your right, Jeff."
No, it is my right. I just said I personally don't think I need more than 1,000 rounds.
He sounded like a Democrat a little bit.
I don't give a fuck if you have 1,000,000 rounds. I don't. If I need 1,000 rounds of fucking 9mm or 40s, I'm in big fucking trouble if that's going to makes my life better.
Did you buy toilet paper when all this happened?
We've got 4 cases probably.
Exactly.
Around now.
So you're hoarding toilet paper, but you're not going to hoard ammunition.
I've got 1,000 rounds. Do I need more than that?
Maybe.
I might have 5,000 rounds. I don't even know what I've got, but I'm not going to buy nothing new now.
But you got enough toilet paper for 4 years.
Well, I take a shit 2 times a day. I don't shoot my gun every day.
You could argue that is as good as gold or money because we all know you can't trust the stock market or elections or half the people in Washington.
Probably
so more than
75% you can't trust.
More than half in Washington.
Yeah, try to get your head around that. Like, well, maybe ammunition is it's currency if all things go to shit, right?
Yeah,
That's a good investment.
I've got a lot of ammo, and I've got more than enough. I think if in my life and I have to shoot all that to save my life, then I'm probably fucked anyway.
Well, like he said, what if it's just bartering? What if it's that for a piece of fucking pulled pork or something?
I have more ammo
piece of beef
than you.
jerky.
I have more ammo than you.
You don't fucking know what I've got.
I do too. I went in your closet the other day.
You don't fucking have a clue.
Listen, Brandon, here's my deal. A guy tells me that's a competitive shooter. He said, Jeff, I shoot 500 to 1,000 rounds each week. And I thought, God almighty, I didn't think about the people but there's a lot of people out there like that. And I thought, that's an expensive hobby now.
You can go shoot sporting clays. That's 100 rounds.
Right.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Shotgun.
Yep.
And if you do that 3 times a week, you're shooting 300 rounds a week.
Right.
So I didn't think of it in that magnitude of how that, there's a big faction of people in our country that are competitive shooters that shoot sporting clays and trap. And they burn a ton of ammo.
Well, just think about how much they burn out here during dove season whenever they're just fucking around, throwing shit out here just a weekend away. Now you throw in that competitive guy and he goes on a hunting trip. Well, that's a lot of ammunition right there.
Well, either way, this whole shortage, it sucks now. Boss is going to do everything we can to not do increase prices. I mean, we've been able to absorb 2 increases in powder last year. Metal increases went up big time. Everything got more expensive. We didn't change the price because we create our own efficiencies, right? We're doing more with the same amount of people and passing the cost savings that, instead of us making more money, we're just absorbing the hit. But the good thing, the silver lining with this whole thing, 2 years, maybe it's a year of pain, shortages, whatever. We just added 7 million new gun owners. And a lot of those people aren't guys that think exactly like you and I, okay? So that's only going to strengthen the Second Amendment, provided everyone doesn't just fall in line and say, oh, well, I got to wear a mask today. Okay, fine. Well, I bought this gun yesterday. I got to give it back to you tomorrow. Cool. I think once someone owns a gun, they responsibly know how to care for it, and they say, I'm allowed to have this. This is my constitutional right. They're not going to let someone take it away from them. So it's only going to strengthen the 2A position, and there's going to be less pressure on it as a result, my opinion.
So you mentioned the stock market. What do you think about everything that's going on with it right now? Are you investing in these Reddit stocks?
I'm getting my ass handed to me right now, but I'm protesting. Yeah. So I never trust the stock market. I've never made that much money in it. I've dabbled with it when I was in college, and I don't trust it at all. And I think those guys on Reddit, they hit on something, and the big boys figure out a way to squirm their way out of that position they were in. And it's bullshit. The SEC is letting them get away with it. The government's going to let them get away with it. And I got those stocks. I'm going to ride them down to zero if I have to. Even if there's a 0.5% chance I might get my money back, I'm going to ride it down to zero out of protest.
So when did you get in? Did you get in like a week ago when all this was hitting?
Last week. Yep.
See, I got in late.
I got in. Within 20 minutes, I was up 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it all evaporate. And then I got, as those guys say, I got paper hands. And I got out of one of them. I held the other two. And I kicked myself in the ass. And then I went and bought back in. And now I'm holding on GameStop, BlackBerry, and AMC.
That shit is all it's bullshit the way that the government has let those people get by with it. But that shows you, just like this election, how little minions we all are over here. It don't matter what you got, unless you're in that inner circle in Manhattan or D.C. And the funny thing in D.C. is the Democrats always talk about, well, Trump and all his Wall Street friends. Them are the fuckers with all the Wall Street
bullshit.
friends. Yeah, they're the ones with the Wall Street connections.
Don Jr. was pushing everything too. He was behind it. He was doing the diamond hand deal on his social media. It was awesome. Fuck yeah. Yeah. No, you get probably 5 or 15 hedge fund guys that can pull their strings and illegally get out of a situation they walk themselves into, flying in the face of 7 million minions united against them.
Yep.
It's bullshit.
It is.
I saw what that stock was doing, and then Robinhood shut down out of the best interest of the market and everyone else. And then that's when you let all those guys in their short positions get away. Mm-hmm. Boom, they slid right out.
I'm still
had them by the balls.
Yep. I'm still a big believer that there's going to be some old-fashioned justice done to some of these fuckers in Manhattan and Washington, D.C. before the next 4 years is up.
I mean, I'm not a financial guy at all. I make my own money doing my own thing, investing in my own business. But before the election, I pulled my 401k out and just have it in cash, like whatever they do. I said, move it out of the markets, foreign, domestic, all that shit. Get out of it, because I'm waiting for the next big dip, because they say, oh, the long position is the long term. If you stay in, you make 3% or 4%. Blah 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 blah. You're better off. No bullshit. I'm waiting for this thing to tank again, and then I'm going to go all in and ride it on the upside, and I'll still come out ahead.
A lot of people did that. I mean, a whole lot of people did that. I know it was a common, and I didn't know what to do. And I mean, you had AOC and Trump Jr. finally agree on something.
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
That should speak volumes to the world. What is wrong here when these two people so far opposite agree that something's not right?
Well, it's kind of like Nancy Pelosi buying all that Tesla stock, 2 days before they announced that stuff. Now, I don't know how the fuck have we gotten where it's legal to be insider trading just because you work in Washington, D.C. as an elected official. Second, how I don't understand how we let them get by with no term limits. I mean, we just let them make their own fucking rules and just keep going. And every year, every decade, it just gets worse and worse and worse. You know?
I think people get drunk on power. And you look at history of time with all the kings and oppressive rulers and why the United States was formed. It was all to get out from under the thumb of oppression. And in the whole, measure of time, the United States is still a baby, just like Boss, right? Like when we were in Italy, you'd go tour these towns or go drive through these towns. You look at these buildings. I say, my God, how old is this building? Oh, I don't know, maybe 400, 500 years. And they talk about it like it was built last week.
Yeah.
So these are like, we're democracy and freedom is a very new idea relative to mankind. So I think what happens is maybe Italy at one point in time thought freedom was a good idea, and that got squashed. And we might be going towards that same point if you start looking at it. And I don't want to be a conspiracy theory guy, but man, from the mask mandate to restaurants not being allowed to open, now in Michigan we can open up at 25%, but you have to be closed by 10 p.m. because we all know the coronavirus becomes active when it wakes up at 10:01, right?
That's the only time you can get it.
I don't take removal of civil liberties lightly. And they've been taken from us, and too many people say, it's okay. It's no big deal. Sure, I don't mind wearing a mask because it allows me to travel. No, bullshit. Jeff, you should be allowed to travel throughout this whole country without having to wear a mask. You
should. Now, that brings me to another topic. When do you think Canada will reopen?
Oh, man, I don't know. Trudeau, when you got Trudeau say Biden went too far, that's another one of those dichotomies of Trump and AOC agreeing on something. You got Trudeau, who's as far left as they come, saying, Biden, what the hell are you doing with the XL thing? This was a deal that was good for everyone. You're going to shut it down? You went too far. That's like big time wake up, people.
Well, what we can't understand is just like this border wall and the Keystone Pipeline, aren't there contracts that are in place that are good for, so many years in advance? Like, hadn't that shit already been paid for? Like, how do they come back and then just say, oh no, we're actually done just because of president?
I'm sure there's cancellation clauses that are probably going to be covered by the federal government. Untold numbers of money. The corporations will probably be fine. The 11,000 people who are working on the line get screwed. Right. Just go find another job. Yeah, no big deal, right, Joe? Just go find another job.
Yeah, but we just couldn't understand because that there's contracts involved and all this shit. Like there's people have signed contracts for years worth of work or whatever, but I can't understand how they're getting out of it.
It's all about optics, and I think the theory is, like I always thought, like the whole liberal Democrat agenda, they were really good at coming up with ideas that could get Trump out of the way or advance their initiative, but they always sucked on the implementation or timing of their strategies, like the first impeachment and all this other crap, right? I kind of thought that when Biden started doing all these executive orders, changing everything in the first couple days, the joke was like, hey, you got 4 years, you don't need to screw everything up in the first week. But I think the long-term optics on how it's going to look in 2 years' time when midterms come up, all the damage has already been done. All they have to do is talk about something good that they did for 2 or 3 weeks before the election, and everyone's going to vote for them again. So let's screw everything up now. Everyone will forget about it, and then we'll be safe in 2 years and then in 4 years.
Fuck, we're living in a monarchy now. There's nothing political happening in this country right now that's good. There's nothing bipartisan. Fuck, I guess this new stimulus that they want to do was 49 to 50 or 50, whatever it was, 50 to 49. I mean, there's no.
We got Joe Manchin, though. We got Joe Manchin. If there ever is a glimmer of hope, of bipartisan support for moving an agenda that's mutually beneficial for everyone in this country, it's guys like Joe Manchin. He's a Democrat,
right?
But he knows what it's going to take to work. And I hate to say it, man, but the last Democrat that actually got shit done was Bill Clinton.
Yeah, because he had Newt Gingrich in the House.
Yep.
They work pretty good together. Joe Biden doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on. And he don't know if he just shit his pants or he just ate Wheaties. He is lost.
I'm back to the point of, got to give the guy a little compassion because he's in the late stages of life if he don't have dementia, I guess I don't know what dementia is.
Yeah,
I say we got a year. And I feel bad for whoever propped him up and put him in that position to make him think that he's capable of doing it.
His wife ought to have her ass whooped. His wife is part of this problem too.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
I don't know how the powers to be decided that Kamala Harris is the one that they thought that needed to be up there with him. That's what shocks
2%.
me. Yeah, I can't. Whoever's pulling the strings, I don't know if it's Black Lives Matter. I don't know who it is that thought that she needed to be there, because she's not an asset to our country at all. And Joe Biden is not. Yep. His days are done. He don't know what he's doing. He's just going to keep signing shit. He don't know what he has no clue what's going on, and our country is going to pay for it down the road. I just don't see any good coming out of the next couple of years. But even who gives a shit when we get to midterms and you're just gonna have some other fucking crooks in there? I don't trust the Republican Party no more to do the Democrat Party.
Well, and it doesn't matter how many votes they get. I mean, if somebody else is doing the vote counting, that's what you got to concern yourself with.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, well, and perfect example about that. So they were going to have Amazon people were going to start voting to unionize certain warehouses.
Yep.
And Bezos, right? Bezos?
Yes.
Yeah. Says, wait a minute, guys. We can't have online voting. We need to vote in person to make sure this is fair.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's a reason why he said that, because he knows how unfair the presidential. Did you see what's going on in Myanmar? I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Myanmar?
I don't know.
The country.
Myanmar?
What? I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it.
The country?
Yeah. How do you say it?
Myanmar.
Myanmar? I don't even know where
I don't
even know where Myanmar is, to be honest with you. And I'm pretty good at geography. So anyways,
I think it's in Southeast Asia somewhere.
They had an election, and they used Dominion voting machines, and it come out that they had a fraudulent election. They have a coup going on over there, but our government wants to step in. Biden wants to send our troops over there because it's not fair for countries to have unsafe elections. Yeah, you can't you can't fucking make this shit up. I mean, first of all, I wouldn't touch that if I was him.
Well, he's done way worse than that. Myanmar's in Burma.
Well, it's Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia, yeah.
But
my big thing is, I can deal with paying more taxes. I can deal with, and that's about it. That's the only thing I'm going to concede and allow the new regime. They want to screw with my taxes, fine. But I'm done taking mandates and telling me what I can and can't do that goes against the Constitution. And my big fear leading up to the election, I think we talked about it in the fall, was this 2A thing and Biden's platform of repealing guns, banning online ammunition, can't do any online purchases of guns, even though that means nothing. I mean, that really, really had me panicked there for a while. Like, how is Boss going to stay viable if our sole source of distribution becomes illegal?
Right.
But the more that I think about it, these 7 million new gun owners is a big plus. Joe Manchin is a plus. The filibuster is a plus. And if these guys want to spend all their political collateral for the next 2 years arguing about who's going to get what for free, let them do it.
Right. Yeah, because that takes the focus off of 2A and like you said.
Makes you wonder sometimes if any of them fuckers ever took an economics class.
No.
Well, it depends. If your economics professor was at a state-run university, liberal arts school, I'm sure they did.
You can't print money.
And they're implementing those strategies as we speak.
I saw a map yesterday that showed how much of this stimulus money went over to foreign countries and stuff, and I'm thinking,
all of it.
Does anybody in fucking Washington, D.C. ever say, whoa, hold on. Let's do what's best for the citizens of this country. Not one of them fuckers says it. They get up and argue and say they do, but they're not going to do nothing.
It's no different than having an argument with your wife. That's one thing. You can argue the sky is purple, or I say it's blue, and I swear sometimes I'm starting to believe the bullshit. And she says it's purple, then, well, you know what? Maybe it is purple. You go to a liberal arts school, and they teach you economics 101, and you're going to say, all right, I accept that. I believe that is truth because I paid for this education. This guy's a professional, right? And you take that as fact, and you run forward. Just like this mask thing. Hate to keep going back to the mask, but some scientist is saying the mask is saving lives. So therefore, you should wear a mask. When you've got science that flies in the face of that and says that's bullshit. So why should we be forced to do something that we know there's at least enough information that supports the contrary?
Yeah.
Why are you making it a mandate? And that's where people, this country was founded upon the belief in fact that you're allowed to have your own set of beliefs and do your own thing and not be persecuted for it as a result. And where we're going down the path now, we're talking about having the thought police or whatever it is,
reality
ministry. Yeah, reality police that's going to start saying what we can and cannot read on social media forums and what is true and what isn't true. It ain't right.
Well, you're already seeing that a little bit on, Facebook and all these other places, especially during election season. Like, no, this was partially false, or this was they block so much shit on Facebook. It's unreal.
And I hate to say it, bipartisan, when the liberals want to do it and the conservative movement wants to blame the liberals for doing this, I don't think it's a Democrat-Republican thing. It's people who we think are the far left that maybe are, but they're the ones that are going to turn that same weapon on their own people. And look at all these Reddit kids and the investors that I've followed. They're people that think AOC is the greatest thing. They love Bernie Sanders. They're far left ideologues. Good for them for having their own set of beliefs. They just got screwed by the same people that they thought they had faith and trust in.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right.
So you got. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask you. I was gonna switch topics. Did you have a deep feeling down inside that the Packers were gonna shit the bed a couple Sundays ago?
Yeah. But honestly, this was the easiest NFL season I had to watch because I could really give a shit one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm so over the whole let's unite everyone by dividing us, right? It's BS. It's BS. The way you unite people is by treating everyone the same, regardless of what color your skin is or what you believe in, this and that. Like, wake up, work hard, pay taxes, bleed red, you're an American. Love you. And that's a fact of the matter, man. By having, and you see it on social media, all these brands now are going out of their way to embrace the minority population, this and that. And same thing with Biden. Before he even picked his candidate, he announced, my vice president is going to be a woman of color. Wait a minute. Whatever happened to let's pick the best person for the job, regardless if they're white or purple or yellow or black or pink? Since when did color of your skin become more important than qualifications for the job?
Right.
2012.
And if Kamala Harris was the best candidate for the job, God love her for being who she is.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But don't use race and religion or sex or whatever it is as a reason why you're going to put someone in that position. Second most powerful person in the world. You're going to pick them based upon sex and color of their skin. What happens if the next guy says, I'm going to pick a white male to be my VP? The guy will get skewered.
Yeah. He won't make it out of the primaries because that's all they'll focus on.
It's because all that privilege he's dripping in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's all it is.
What do you think about the guy from Pennsylvania or the shim or whatever the fuck it is that's our Secretary of Health? Have you seen the pictures of that guy?
Yeah.
You're stirring him. You're stirring him up.
And again, I'm going to try to be nice about this whole thing. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut.
You're stirring him up.
if you're gonna take a pragmatic approach to people's lives and health in the way, because this guy's Secretary of Health or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Health and Human Services. Okay. I guess I would favor someone who would take a more pragmatic approach and never had to question that deeply their own identity, and then could impose whatever. I'm staying away from that one.
How the hell?
I'm staying away from that.
I saw a picture of him yesterday wearing a fucking baby dress.
Baby dress, yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's who you actually representing you. There is no corporation in this country that's going to let someone like that move up the ranks to be at a position that they're going to be the show person for to be the leader of that business. There's no way.
I guess, you know what? Wake up, work hard, bleed red, pay taxes. Fine. I don't care if you're purple. I guess it falls into that. I just don't know if it's in the best interest of the people he serves and represents to maybe be that forward.
He was given the job because of that, though. That's the thing.
He was. He, she, they.
It's a him.
Whatever the term is. Pronouns.
Yeah. He's got a penis. It's a him.
If that's what yes, I hate to say it, but I think you're right. I think they were given that job just to, it's almost exploitation, man. It's pandering. I think it's gross. I think it's disrespectful of his personal beliefs, because I would venture to say there's probably someone well more qualified without having to dig too deep that you could put in that role that would do a better job.
Oh, probably at my local hospital here. Here's the thing with the guy. I don't give a shit if he wears stockings and garters and whatever. I don't give a shit what he does. I don't care who he sleeps with. I don't care what he thinks he is. But you don't represent the majority of our country. And to you get propped up like that just because you like to wear fucking baby clothes and shit is ridiculous. And you can't tell me when he goes and walks through the Pentagon or not the Capitol, people in there aren't going, check out old Shim over there. You know, them other people are laughing, but they know he got put up there just because they can say, and look what Joe Biden did.
Right.
He gave a cross-dresser or transgender or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, well, I know it's going to infuriate some people and other people are going to praise it. Let's just hope that if anything else, like maybe it can teach people to be a little bit more tolerant and understanding of others with different opinions. Now, that's kind of it's a pipe dream to think that a guy that crazy could pull that off, but hopefully there's a silver lining in it somewhere. I don't see it yet, but the last thing we need is people getting pissed off and shooting each other and burning other people's shit down, you know?
Well, I mean, and it's obvious if this person has this much inner turmoil, there's some mental health that's lacking. So the fact that
maybe not, maybe we're the ones that are nuts for thinking there's something wrong with him.
Well,
that's kind of where I go sometimes. Like maybe I'm the one that's not right.
Well, put me on the top of that list because I obviously have a lot of fucked up feelings because I think the dude's a joke. I really do. Kind of like Black Lives Matter getting up for a Nobel Peace Prize. You got to be fucking kidding me.
No, that's one I don't have a problem taking a position on flaming because that's complete bullshit.
Yeah,
that's complete bullshit.
Our world we live in is just nuts to think that would even be propped up. The double standards. I have no problem with them arresting anybody that went in the Capitol building, and if they tore something up, fucking arrest them. But I also think they ought to use the same standards to anybody that burned up a freaking building in Minneapolis or wherever else it is, or these assholes in Portland, Oregon that tear up shit. We got an ongoing deal in Portland. They attack the federal courthouse every night. Why aren't we arresting them people?
The problem is these people are being leveraged for their own power. The Democrat, I hate to say here, I go being political again, but I think the far left people who are trying to get all the power are using these people's races against them to create the conflict, only to come in later and say, look, we'll fix the problem. And then you make everyone out to be the underprivileged, out to be the hero in this. And they're the ones that deserve it. Shit, they don't care about black lives and all that other stuff. All they want is the power. And if they can use them as the tool to get them in that position to get the power, they're happy. They could give a shit what happens to us.
Well, no, I mean, that's
gross.
It's exactly right.
Yep.
It's all identity politics.
The conservative politicians were the guys that ended slavery. Mm-hmm. That was not a liberal view. That was the ultra-conservative that ended slavery. But whatever.
And
I mean, like I say, I hold true to it, man. I don't care if you're guy, girl, pink, purple, black, yellow, white. You want a job, you work hard, you do your shit, you obey the rules, you pay your taxes, you're an American. There's room for you on my team.
No, that's exactly right. But I want the best qualified. I don't want you propped up just because you identify as something else. And you're just I don't want you to just be a check mark in somebody's list of, look what I did. I put this person up there. Yep. You're not fucking qualified. Yep. You're just a fucking check mark is all that you are.
Yep.
So boss, we're switching. When are we switching to Boss Tom? When are we making that transition?
Probably the next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks or so. We'll switch over, and we're going to do a limited run. It's not going to be big. I mean, we're not turkey hunters. We're duck hunters that kill turkeys in the spring, right?
Right.
So I think we probably will run out of that, but it ain't no big deal. If you can't get a TSS tungsten copper plated number 9 or whatever the hell. Just go take a Boss 5 and call that turkey within 30 yards and whack them.
Boss 5 will do it. Did you see a lot of? I pumped the 3.5 blend. That's my favorite load that you guys have. Did y'all see a lot of that this year?
Yeah, that's probably our number 2 most popular load.
Behind the 5. Behind the 5.
Yep.
Let me tell you,
it's a freak show. So we're gonna do some testing this summer if I have time to do it, and see why people rave about it so much. I've got some theories as to why it works, because I would think by now it's been around for, I guess, 2.5 seasons. It really, really, really took off in 2019, the back half of 2019 when we could produce it. And I know that sometimes, like, you think people want to stroke your ego and say, oh man, your shit's the best stuff out there, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you need to say, guys, chill out a little bit, because people are going to think that you got like some obsession over this stuff, and it's not magical. But I got to dig in and see why people love it as much as they do, because it's working better than what I would have thought it would work with our testing we did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So you tell me, what's the story with the 3.5? Why is it killer?
I don't know why it's a killer, but I can tell you, just shooting the 3.5 and then just shooting a regular 5, and I shot a lot of cranes this year. The 3.5 is punishing.
Well, I guess you could say it's because it's got number 3s in it.
Right.
I mean, 3.5 versus a straight 5. Did you ever shoot our number 4s?
Never have. No.
Okay. Because it seems like guys they'll settle on the 4 or that 3.5, but they don't want to shoot the 5. But again, man, I just got to dig in deeper. But it's a freak show of a popular load. I mean, people love it. They rave about it. And I don't know if it's the pellets fly. I believe it's because the pellets fly in mass, and you get a little drafting effect with the little guy following the big guy because they're mixed in.
Right.
And that's why they pattern tighter. Or it could be complete bullshit, and guys can't kill that well, and they're terrible shots, and the 3s and 5s string out longer, so it handicaps it. So it's a longer shot string, so it gives a little more fudge factor in there if they can't lead right. That could be it. But I gotta turn over all the rocks and figure out why.
That will probably be the camp that I'm in. Just a shitty shot, and I've got some fucking wiggle room with the 3.5.
I don't know. Jeff, what do you think?
Jeff had to run to the bathroom. He's just taking a piss outside. Jeff, you know how many times Jeff shot a shotgun this season?
How many?
0. Not one.
The shoulder?
Not one time. Jeff, did you shoot a shotgun at all this year? He's having to think.
It was either the shoulder, or he was afraid of contracting COVID from the client.
You making fun of me now?
Well, yeah. I don't think you shouldered a shotgun at all. We're supposed to do a fun hunt Saturday with my oldest son, but it's looking like the birds are pretty thin. It's 85 here today, so
It's not even supposed to get cold now until like Monday now too.
Right.
I think I dove hunted a couple of times. I think I did. I shot dove. Yeah, I dove hunted with the 28.
Jeff, you're gonna like this. So there's one that we're coming out with this year. It's called the Light 12. So we've got a group of older guys up in New York that have a club, and they're in their 70s now, and they still want to shoot those 12 gauges, but the recoil's too much for them. So we gave them some of our fiber wad that shoots like butter smooth, super soft. And they're like, yeah, that still is a little bit too much for us. So we went back to the drawing board, and we just got done testing it all today. We're going to start producing them. And it's Lee's calling it the Light 12. It's a 1 ounce, almost square load 12 gauge that uses a super hot powder. It burns real quick, and it's got a super squishy wad. So it shoots like a trap load. But it's a magnum velocity wrecking fool. I mean, it's going to be awesome because we know the velocity, the ballistics are what they are. So it's going to kill just like everything else. But our patterns that we're throwing are like super uniform, super dense, out to 40 yards, and it's going to be a cool one for us. So little kids, women, older guys, people with tore up shoulders can shoot that thing. It's going to be a fun one.
They'll love that. If I hunt, if I go hunt, I'm going to shoot my 28 gauge.
That's all I shot all year. Except I do something once with the 12. The 28's all I shoot now.
That's all I'm going to shoot. And I don't know that I used to shoot a 20 and I like shooting a 28. And I don't know if I'll hunt next year. I don't mind hunting. I've got an idea of some things.
I don't mind hunting.
I don't mind hunting. It's just not that I don't have time. I like to watch the birds and stuff. I just don't have time to hunt. We are so busy around here during hunting season. I am.
What else are you doing in the morning between 4 and 9?
Scouting. As soon as the sun's out, I scout. When the birds are flying, I'm scouting. I'm working. I'm not. And then as soon as I get done scouting, I've got to go to the post office. I got to go to the bank. I got to come to the office. We got call. I'm busy. I stay very busy.
So your payoff and your reward being in the industry isn't doing the killing yourself.
No,
it's having happy clients and the camaraderie.
Yes.
Well, and it's making a plan. It's what are we going to do for what are the next 3 days? Okay, we've got this, and this. Let's try to make a plan.
Horse to water.
Right. Like let's try to get some stuff. Let's try to get some hunts lined up. And because, and this year what happened was, we have that place up in Oklahoma, so he's back and forth a little bit that way. But, he tries to get all the ducks in a row before he has to depart or do something else. So that's where he gets his thrills, is getting everything lined up.
Did you guys have a good season this year?
No.
Terrible. Worst season we've ever had.
And we had some good hunts. We killed a lot of cranes. Gosh, we killed a ton of cranes this year.
Killed a lot of cranes. Lee said something the last time we had him on, and we got to get Lee back on. We were talking about Canada being closed.
In the push, yeah.
Yep. He said, I'm worried that there's not going to be enough pressure to push the birds out. And
the lack of winter on that too.
The motherfucker was right. I think when you put everything together, no pressure in Canada, lack of winter, everything stayed either north of the border or in the Dakotas. Blake, that's in Nebraska right now, said that they're loaded up with little geese.
Yep.
Shouldn't happen this time of year. But yeah, this season was terrible.
We had a bad season.
Our ducks didn't show up until after the season closed. We had one push early in the season, a freak push that shouldn't have happened, and then we had stale birds, by us at least, and nothing showed up until middle of January.
We had a hard season, but I am going to hunt next year, maybe in October. I'm thinking about with our YouTube series we're going to have come out, going and filming and hunting a couple of days, and going to some different parts in the country and hunt with some guys that we have on our public hunter segment.
YouTube series, eh?
Yes.
Nice.
We'll have it. And was I not supposed to say that?
No. I don't. You can say whatever you want on here, Jeff.
Oh, I can't. Anything?
Yeah. What? Fuck. Okay. I don't care. You've already admitted to a whole lot today. So
yes.
What's the difference?
Anyways, in October, before we get busy and we're still dove season, I would like to go during the week and hunt some places. I'm going to try to democrat some hunts off of some different public hunters we have that have invited us to different places, and I'm going to try to do that.
All right.
And we had that freak storm in October. We did not get a cold front at all in November, and we had gone through most of December before we ever even sniffed cold weather.
We got a little snow at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here.
How was client experience? Was still good though. They were happy, right?
Majority of our clients were very happy, or not very happy. I'm going to say most of our clients had a great time. They were happy to be out of the house.
Right.
Our rebookings is tremendous from last year to this year. We've got a lot of hunts, big groups of people. Podcast hunters are a lot of them. But all of my podcast guys are regular hunters, too, and they know it was tough everywhere because of weather.
What group is tougher to keep happy? The regular hunters that don't do social media, or the podcast guys that know about you guys? Most
of our podcast guys aren't problems at all. We put more pressure on ourselves, I think, than they do. Most of them guys are waterfowl hunters, and they're just happy. A lot of guys that come here from different places come here to shoot specs. They want to shoot cranes. They want to do things different that they don't have at home, and we were able to do that this year. We had one group left that was not happy that I know of. Everybody else, even if it was bad days, might have been disappointed, but we sold a lottery bookings, which we work hard. If we don't have a good season, it's not because of the guys ain't working hard and shit. It's just because we ain't had no winter.
And I think having a lodge, it's a major fucking headache, but having a lodge and having meals provided and having them come back to a place where, like, it's different. If you have a bad hunt and just go sit in your hotel room, well, then you just you just fucking stew on it. But if you're at the lodge and you've got you'll see the guys at lunch, you'll see the guys at dinner, they talk to you, you're kind of interact with them. That takes some of the burden off. I think
the ladies saved our ass a lot of days this year.
Sure,
we have good meals here and they eat good, and people Man, the meals were great. We appreciate it. I mean, it was not a bad year at all. We made a lot of good memories. It was just a tough hunting season.
So do you guys have like that book that all the charter captains have down in Florida, the fishing captains? They got this book that whenever they get clients that come in, they ask where they're from, and they'll sneak in and look up that city and then come up with a couple interesting facts to bullshit with them.
No, Jeff's just
a better tip.
Jeff's just a walking encyclopedia.
Well, I don't know.
You already
about all
got
that.
it.
That's all. I mean, that's all it is. Anytime anybody walks in, Jeff says, "Where are you from?" And then it's being in business this long, we've hunted somebody from there, or he finds out what industry they're in, and then he finds somebody that worked alongside of him 20 years ago.
I just visit with people. I talk to people all the time, and I've been doing it a long time, and I know a lot of people from a lot of places. I read a lot, and so I'm a fun fact type of guy anyways about stuff. But I'm not cheesy about it. I like visiting with people from different places. That's why I enjoy my trips when me and Michelle get on the road and we go to places I've never been in little small areas. I like to see places I've never been.
You'll be able to go wherever
you
want.
The world really is pretty darn small, and that's what I've learned with Boss is how closely connected people are.
Yeah.
In all different walks of life. Like we were out, I was in Oklahoma on a hunt last year, and there's this guy that I said, "Where are you from?" He goes, "I'm from a small town in Florida." I said, "Try me." He says, "I'm from Flagler Beach." I said, "Flagler Beach." I said, "You know a guy by the name of Joe Lynch?" "How in the hell do you know Joe Lynch?" I said, "Joe Lynch is a traveling gypsy that came up and worked the summer for me when I was running asphalt." "How do you know him?" He said, "I graduated high school with him." It's just the world gets so incredibly small, and it's really neat what kind of ties everyone together, even though everyone can be all different, scattered about.
But once you talked about that with him, you had a bond with him.
Oh yeah, he texted me last night.
See, that's what I'm talking. That's what I try to do is to visit, and that's what I have trouble with some of my young guides is they don't understand the communication part with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. I'll ask a question and it'll be like, "Duh," and I'm like, "How the hell do you not ask that?"
Well, they were raised on the 2x2 screen, man. I mean, that's the thing. You got to get out, go see how small the world really is for yourself instead of living it vicariously through a fucking telephone.
That's exactly right.
And starting the podcast, I've realized Jeff has always said this, and I kind of didn't believe it when I was growing up, but how incredibly small the hunting industry is.
Mm-hmm.
And how fucking the game of telephone does not take long. And
well, look at like yesterday. We have one guy that says, these guys are saying Boss is dangerous, don't shoot the shit. Within 5 minutes, I was able to get a senior level guy at the company call his cell phone. One phone call is all it took.
Hey, motherfucker. Is that how you started that conversation?
It wasn't like that, man. It wasn't like that.
Was it?
But I mean, of course, I'm going to protect our brand. Like I don't appreciate people using their platform while they're paid by a corporation that is a long-standing business that's highly respected. I respect the shit out of that company.
Yeah.
And to know that if nothing else, they just had to understand that they got people at the low levels of the business saying disparaging things about our company.
Right.
Which are untrue. And if you got a problem and our shells are too hot and they're blowing people's guns up and they're dangerous, back it up with science. That's all I want.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like he said, and you never know. That could have been going around the fucking call center or whatever they have. Like, hey, like we're getting calls about Boss or whatever. So you don't know.
At the same time, I guess I should say is there was a guy that one of our customers called, same company earlier in the year, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I shoot that same stuff. It's freaking killer." So I mean, it's on both sides. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Hey, where do you fly when you fly into your town? Where do you fly into commercial?
South Bend.
Okay.
South Bend is a half hour from us. Grand Rapids is an hour. Chicago Midway is a little over an hour. Kalamazoo is 45 minutes.
What are you getting at here? You sound like you're about to Democrat something off of Brandon here.
No, I've never tried to Democrat anything off Brandon. We're going to northern Michigan this summer. We rented a cabin on a lake, the family.
Yep.
And we were going to fly into an airport called Pellstone, maybe.
Oh, Pellston's up in the UP.
Yeah. That's where we're landing. We're only like 10 minutes away from there where we're staying at. But Jesus, to fly in and out there's a pain in the ass. I think we're just going to fly into Detroit.
Pellston, yeah, that's the old K.I. Sawyer International. Well, it's K.I. Sawyer International, whatever. That was the old air base where the Northern Shield back in the Cold War.
Uh-huh.
That had a fleet of B-52 bombers that got decommissioned maybe 20 years ago now. And they say that there's so much jet fuel on that property that it's like 6 feet deep, like maybe 15 feet under the soil, that covers the entire airport property from leaky fuel tanks, from having those bombers, fuel spilled on the ground. Yeah. You'll see the airport's huge. It's got a 10,000-foot runway. The thing is like forever long for those B-52s.
That was when they
had them all along. Minot in North Dakota. There was one in Minnesota. They go all along that northern border. So in case the Ruskies were going to launch a missile, we were able to go up there and do our deal back at them.
That was when we flew the Looking Glass, where we had a general, a 5-star general, a 4-star general in flight at all times.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
I had a friend of mine back 30 years ago whose dad was one of the generals that did that.
Mm-hmm.
And they would put them on a plane and they'd refuel them and they'd fly for like 8 or 10 hours and then have another one come in. And so they flew out of that Pellstone area.
Yeah, it was. Well, K.I. Sawyer was the name of the air base.
I'll be damned. Yeah, we're going up there for the summer. We're going to be there for a week. And anyways, I didn't know. I was just curious to how far you were from that area.
Driving about 9 hours, 8 hours.
To go across all of Michigan?
Well, if you go straight south all along the middle of Lake Michigan, that's like when I fly personally from our airport and I go up that direction, I'm flying a heading of like 340 degrees. So it's almost straight north. So as the crow flies, it's 300 miles, but you got to drive all the way down around the lake.
Oh, well, anyways, I'm looking forward to that trip. That's a pretty area up there.
Yeah, it's awesome. Wait, when is that? In June?
Yeah, we're going the last week of June, I believe.
Yeah, snow should be all melted by then.
If it's not, it's no big deal. We're going to go to I've always wanted to go to Mackinac Island anyways.
Well, then you're getting close. That's only 3.5 hours from us here.
Well, I'm not very far from Mackinac Island.
Maybe I'm screwed up thinking where you're going.
I'm going to that Pellstone area.
Yeah, that's 3 hours from Mackinac, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Jeff doesn't know. It's that COVID vaccine. They brainwash you.
I haven't even had the and you know what? I'm not taking it.
Chinese pretty quick.
I'm not even going to get to take it either.
What?
Why? Because I'm going
the vaccine?
Yeah, I'm going to. I can't be gone. Me and Michelle are going on vacation, and I'm going to be gone in 2 weeks when I would have to take my second one, so I can't take this one yet.
Darn.
It only took 1 hour and 22 minutes, but we got him to change his mind, Andy.
No, y'all didn't. I'm not going to miss my vacation.
You're so fucking selfish.
There is no way Pellstone is no damn 8 hours from you.
No. Pellston, by driving, yes, because you have to go all the way up through Michigan or around through Illinois, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin to get there. There's no straight shot. Pellston
is south of Mackinac City.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Pellston, yes. I'm thinking Gwynn. Yeah, Pellston's only 3 hours from us.
There you go. I was like, there's lost his damn mind. There's no way that. So Pellston's only 3 hours from y'all?
Yeah, why don't you come on down?
Well, I'm trying to find cheaper airlines. That's what I'm thinking about doing. We may fly does Southwest fly into Grand Rapids or any of that?
They sure do. Southwest does, and then obviously you can go into Chicago Midway.
I don't want no, fuck that. I spent an hour there in October, and I might as well have been in fucking Moscow, Russia.
Yeah. Midway's the bad one, isn't it?
No, they're all shitholes. They're both shitholes. I
thought Midway was in the bad part of town.
All of Chicago's a bad part of town.
Oh, that is true.
That's in Schiller Park, isn't it?
I don't know if maybe it is considered Schiller Park, yeah.
It's just
working. It's a wide web, Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's all bad.
Yeah, the whole thing's bad. And Schiller Park used to be really nice, just a working man area of town.
Yeah. 35th Street ain't bad. That's where the White Sox are. I don't mind that.
You're a White Sox fan and not a Cubby fan?
Good guys wear black, Jeff.
So are you excited about golf being at Detroit now, since you're a Packer fan?
Man, like I say, I'm not loving the NFL that much anymore. Maybe I'm too much of an idealist, but it kind of pisses me off. Like I don't know, it's all bullshit. It's not. It's money. It's money for them. It's money. all they care about is money.
Did you
the
know
players are pawns. The fans are pawns. It's all bullshit.
Did you notice that, though, after all the big shindig and all the hoopla and all that shit about kneeling and crap, after the first week of the season, it was all over? So why did the NFL...
They still got all those sayings and slogans on people's helmets and stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I saw one for the first time the other day in the playoffs. I hadn't noticed one, but they drew that big line in the sand, and then after the first week, it was all they realized they'd fucked up again. I don't know why they don't just stay out of that shit. Like the
They're
NBA,
being pressured.
You
got to look at where it's all come from. It's power and pressure. Who's benefiting from it?
You couldn't pay me to watch the NBA. You're not going to do it. I don't want to listen to all that shit. Everyone's created equal. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is. Do you, and you have that opportunity. Everyone has opportunity. So, anyways, I know we've kept you long enough. You got lots of stuff to do. You
got to keep boss on track in some turbulent times. So, we applaud you for that.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I want to get in on that YouTube series. Let us know what we can do to be a part of that thing. That's going to be awesome.
We damn sure do that. It'll be coming out this spring.
Cool.
Oh,
cool.
What a fucking nightmare that's going to be for Andy.
Well, give you something to do, Andy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I need, is something else to fucking do.
Brandon, I hope we see you at the game fair this year if they have it.
I bet they don't have it.
Who knows?
Well,
I bet they cancel it.
If they have it, we're going to come up there and see you.
They're canceling.
And if they don't, come on up.
Well, we're going to
Restaurants are open in Michigan until 10 p.m., so we have to do lunch or early dinner or do dinner and be done early.
Jeff will have his COVID vaccination, so like he's free to run about the country.
About that. Still got to wear a mask even if you got your COVID card. 10 p.m. curfew.
Jeff will change it whenever he gets up there.
I appreciate y'all busting my balls the whole time. Y'all have a great day,
hey,
Brandon.
Jeff,
yes,
when
sir.
When you wear a mask, start counting how many times you touch that son of a bitch.
Oh, my mask has got fucking dirt and shit on it from the storm the other day. I told Michelle, I said, this fun bitch ain't sanitary
That's
at all.
The thing is he wears the same mask. He's worn the same mask for 3 fucking months.
We spend too much time talking about that stupid shit.
Yeah,
all right, boy.
All right. Talk to you later, bud.
Bye.
Later.
Brandon Cerecke.
Y'all picked on me a lot today.
Well, Jeff, some days you deserve it. Some days you're not thinking straight. Today was one of those days.
I was thinking straight.
You turned your light off.
Oh, well, it's time to get off here, I guess.
I guess so.
All right. See ya. Thanks. Peace. Bye.
Go check out all of our great sponsors. Check out Athletic Brewing Company. Have some brews without the compromise. Fowl Bandits, 20% off hoodies right now. Stanfield Hunting Outfitters if you're looking for that turkey hunt. Gundog Outdoors, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss. Don't forget about them. Pacific Calls, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club, 14 Cattle Company, William Chris Wines, and blindgrass.com.
All Lives Matter would be the school's Black History Month theme. Do you live in a box to be that stupid? When you get away from this microphone, I got a story.